Shabbat Shalom. It's so interesting that we have been studying lately about Jacob. Jacob is a very interesting personality. Is the number 3 of our forefathers. According to our sages, Abraham is the poor Hesed, has total, what we call a heart of mercy. Isaac is the Ebed, is the servant. He always served, servitude, and also about justice. But Jacob is the one that keeps the Torah. Is the keeper of the Torah. Our sages say that there was Jacob who had the final battle about to keep the Torah. Well, in this portion that we have, we are going to see Jacob has a battle with men, with Ish. And this man has special qualities. It is maybe understood that he was divine. This man, according to our sages, they call it this the angel of Esau. And his name that was given to him by our sages, Samael. Interestingly, the name Samael, comes from 2 words, Sam and El. And Sam means poison, and El means God. To poison from God, or God is poisoning. What is the situation here? What happened with Jacob? What is his life? From the beginning, Jacob had a very difficult life. From birth, he wanted to be the first one, he came second. He held on his brother's heel, and that's the reason that his name, Jacob. He has been considered and has 2 sides. One as the very, with a lot of sense of why he is, or what was his role. And from the other side, they take it as somebody who tricks others, like a deceiver. And how is Esau? How is picture Esau? In the Torah, Esau is not pictured as an evil one. That is going to be later on when we are going to read the Nabiim, the prophets, and then some in the Tehillim, that we are going to characterize Esau's descendant, Edom. But really, Esau was not as bad as we would like to think he was. The problem is that we have this desire to be different between one and the other. You see, we think that we live in a dualistic world. Everything is dual. Good and evil, day and night, and so on. Male and female, always dual. But here in this story, what I would like for you is to go beyond our own understanding of the Torah and to see what it means to us and how we can apply it in our lives. Because we can see Jacob and Esau in different ways. One of the things that is very obvious that here at the end, we are going to see that both brothers come back and they made up. They decided to be good brothers. To the point that when they had, Esau cried on the neck of his brother, Jacob, the one that supposedly he hated. Our Savior cannot take it out. And even in the word that he cried, put in the Masoretic term, they put little point to question that those tears were crocodile tears. Why we are such people that were such strong against something? Because maybe we don't like the characteristic what Esau represents and what Jacob represents. If we see the whole picture, Jacob represents Israel, Esau represents the world. Jacob represents the Torah, Esau represents the world that give it to you without Torah. And there is always this struggle between one and the other. All of us, without exception, we have this struggle. The fight of Jacob with these men is basically, in psychology, they call it coming back to reality. I need to deal with the issues that have been living in the back. All of us, we need to come back to where we come from, to settle. How many of us have experiences that we are not too happy about? But how many of us we have dealt with our experiences? How we make it right? We have dealt with our own issues in the past. You will be surprised that many of us, we have put a lot of things under the carpet, but we never have cleaned the carpet. And this is suffocating us. The dust alone is coming from under the carpet. And sometimes we question why we cannot have a good life. Why we are always so sad or so questioning about our own existence. Even some of us we have questioned why I was born. What is my role in this life? What I need to do? And then people go to the side what the word is called Esau. And Esau, the word of Esau is, don't worry about anything. Live your life, live it the way that you want to. Because today is the only day that you have. What happens tomorrow is another thing. And most of us, we are living like that. The Torah tells you about responsibility. The word tells you about you don't care about anybody else, only yourself. What we can keep learning from this? First of all, let me tell you a little bit about what Jacob was doing through this fight. Jacob was not innocent. And sometimes we want to paint it. Because he participated in what his mother told him. From the beginning, he did things, maybe he didn't want to do it, but he did it. He used the need of his brother who didn't care about anything for a plate of lentils. He asked his brother to serve his birthright. Then he stole from his brother, dressing like him as an impostor, robbed the blessing that was for his brother. What he needed to do to make it right? He needed to give it back, the birthright and the blessings, to his brother. And he did it in his encounter with his brother. Now Jacob can start again. How many of us we are still holding something that doesn't allow us to keep on? That's holding us back. And by the way, our holding starts when we are very young. I have done a lot of counseling through these years. And I want to say that most of the problems I have dealt with people come from the time of their infancy, growing up, at early age. How they see they were treated by their parents or the lack of parents. And the bitterness that they has accumulated through the years. The unfairness of life. And they were not able to deal with those things to the point that now they are suffering mental diseases. Or they have destroyed their own life. Because they were not able to deal with their own past. And always, the medicine is in our hands. It's dealing with our own past, with our own issues. Not only learning to confess our past, but this is even more important, to learn to forgive to those ones who have done wrong to us. I always have said to you, when you do not forgive, you become kidnapped, hostage of the one that has done something wrong to you for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, you hate, the one that did wrong to you is in control. It is only when you make it right, you forgive, that's when you are free. Because the only one that has the right to judge is our Creator. Jacob, after this very difficult life, has learned and he's going to continue suffering the consequences of his actions. You know, if you start learning, and we're going to see later on even more, how many times Jacob is being deceived. He deceived his brother and his father. No, his father really. Then he is deceived by his father-in-law Laban. Then he deceived by his own children, Shimon and Levi, about what they were going to do with Hamor and the people. He deceived later on by his own brothers, children, about Joseph. And what? He is deceived by his wife Rachel. He deceived even by Joseph, because Joseph didn't do anything to look for him when he was in the power. It was only when he learned that they were still the brothers, that's when he came back. All his life, he suffered the consequences. But at the end, he ended blessed. What we can learn from this? That if you really are faithful to God, to His teachings, to His guidance with the Torah, doesn't mean that it's going to protect you against certain injustice, or you're going to have an easy life, a hunky-dory life. But you are going to be in the right way. When he's fighting with this angel, he finally comes the time to let it go. Time to let it go. Have you had the time that somebody has tell you, enough is enough? Let it go. Because if you don't let it go, you are the one that's destroying yourself. And Jacob was asked by this man, this angel, whatever it was, let me go. Say, I won't let you go until you tell me your name. And the man say, what's my name? You are not any longer Jacob. Your name will be Israel. Because you have a struggle with God and you have prevailed. What do you mean that? Did he defeat God? No. That Jacob became himself. And Jacob needed also to learn from his brother Esau that he needed to be strong. And that sometimes there are times to be peaceful and sometimes there is time to fight. You know, we talk about Rivka. That push him to take the position of Esau. But at the same time, she showed him to stand up for what is right. Because she knew that these blessings, the Bechorot, the firstborn blessing, was for Jacob, not for Esau. And she kept it to herself. We don't know if she told Isaac or not. And maybe she told him, but Isaac didn't listen because he was totally amazed by Esau. According to him, Esau was the leader. Jacob was not a leader. And they needed to, he was looking about continuity. And who better to protect that continuity than Esau? Look at today, Israel. You know, you look at Israel today, Israel has the two sides. Has Jacob's side and Esau's side. The Jacob's side is they are looking for peace and tranquility. But at the same time, they need to have the spirit of Esau. We need to fight for survival too. We cannot allow the enemy to destroy us. It's too long that we have been trusting the world to defend us. And we know the consequences of that trusting. No evermore. Then the problem is not that it's good or evil. The problem is when do you apply certain situations and when needs to be done. Going back to us, primordially. Are you in your battle against the things that are holding you back? Have you dealt with issues in your life that are holding you back? Are there areas that you don't want to talk about it? When you don't become honest with yourself, you cannot be honest with others. It's the same idea. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love others, you cannot love the Creator. And you know, the love in the scriptures is not a love about romantic ideas. The love is about loyalty. And if you cannot be loyal to yourself, how can you be loyal to others? How can you be loyal to God? Listen. And I hope that in this idea that we need to bring to us as community too. Is that we need to be together, and that we need to understand that we are not the enemies. They're the outside, that they don't want us to grow. They don't want us to continue. And the way that happens is through different things, ideas and statements that sometimes we ourselves accepted from outside. You're too small, you are nobody, you don't have anybody that is wealthy, you don't have somebody to support you, you know, all those things. And why? We are depending on what? Who do you really depend on? I depend on my health. I depend on my stature and my things they do. Or I depend on the Creator. To whom do I trust? Do I trust myself or I trust others? To whom I have put my trust on? You know, the students are very interesting. There are different types of students. But there are students that I was talking to them, that they like to study only in the last moment, you know? And they come out with exams and they complain that nothing happened and everything, the exam was too hard, too difficult. There are other students that have learned that they need to study during the semester, during the year. And when they go to the final exams, they don't need to try to relearn everything anew because they have been studying. They already know, and it's easier for them. Not only them, but better prepared. Many of us in life, we don't prepare ourselves. We hope whatever happens at the end. And when that happens at the end, we are not prepared. This community needs to be prepared. Are Jacob and one of us, we were going to be like Jacob in many ways. To try to look for the truth in ourselves and to make it right. And the response of Esau is going to be with tears. 2 tears. Because he's going to see that we're for real. But that we have the strength to fight them if they want to fight us. We don't need to live under fear. And that was the problem of Jacob. Constantly living under fear. How many of you live under fear? What is going to happen? I don't take it because something can happen. I don't fly because the plane can fall. I don't go in the train because the train can get out. You know, I don't get in the car because I can have a wreck. I don't eat that because it can be poison. How many of us are living under fear? It is time that we wake up and it is time to make it right. Let it go, all the phobias that you have, all the things that are holding you back. Be honest with yourself and be honest with the others. If you need to deal with issues in the past, deal with them now. Don't wait until they catch up to you and they destroy you. Jacob finally faced his worst fear. interested enough. His word fear was not the creator. His word fear was his brother. And look at what happened with his brother when he did it right. When he made it right,